Welcome to Make a Path Presents. Today, let's talk, are we ready for absolute death in The Walking Dead? Alright guys, Negan's coming. We got just a few more episodes until he shows up. Now they dropped hints that he could show up a little earlier. I think that's bullshit. I think it's possible we might see a silhouette or maybe off screen. We could see something, I really believe that. I could picture a cliffhanger where we see something. But then again, I can also picture the Saviors showing up again, or at least a group of the Saviors, showing up out of nowhere, attacking either on the group on a supply run or at Alexandria, and going from that to Negan's first appearance over the course of the next 3 episodes. Now, what we do know is Andrew Lincoln said when he read the season finale, it literally made him sick. If we take that and we take everything else they've said about the season finale and Negan's first appearance, man, it would have to be a really good fake out if they brought him any earlier. Or at least the death. The death that's definitely coming must be in the season finale. It has to be, because of all the clues we got so far, especially from the actors. I think it was Daryl who said it was Aaron Ross playing Aaron. I believe he's the one who said he actually had to put the script down a few times. Another person, Andrew Lincoln, said it made him sick to his stomach. Another person said it was, I think Daryl said it was like just the most craziest thing they've ever done or whatever he's ever read. People are going to be heartbroken, yada, yada, yada. So we do know the death almost has to be in the season finale. We do know that death is coming, and it's a big death. And why is it a big death? Most likely because it's going to be one of the Atlanta 5. Now, the biggest argument right now with the fans that talk about the death and try to predict who it can be, the biggest argument is how loved does the character have to be? I did make the comment that Heath is now our new Glenn, so maybe he could get the death. That was more of a joke than it was serious. I do believe there's a small percent chance he could take the death. Right now, I wouldn't bet on him, though. I would honestly bet on Carol. And I know they've said Carol was safe, but you got to go back and rewatch or reread that interview the way Kirkman said it. He didn't come right out and say, hey, Carol's the safest character in the world, she will never die. Go back and reread that interview if you could find it. If I find it, I'll put the link down below. But that death is coming, and it will be someone we love. In my opinion, it has to be. I agree with the fan base that strongly feels it has to be. It can't be Heath, even though I think that's a person they're comfortable with killing off at this moment. It can't be Spencer. It can't be Abe even. It can't be... Damn, I think they had such a good opportunity for Morgan, but at this time, I think Morgan has fallen to a smaller percentage. If they would have made him into a character that fans just loved, instead of a character that has caused some conflict with the fans, I think they could have used him very well for that death. So it must be either Rick, Carl, Glenn, Daryl, or Carol. Now, okay, let's run through this. Rick is off limits. For right now, he can't be killed. Carl also. They just took out his eye. They would not do that to a character. That much setup, especially for a character, in my opinion. Even taking into consideration the importance of that character for Rick's character, those two are safe for the time being. Then we got Daryl. I believe he's being set up for something to come in Season 7. And then we got Glenn, who was the person killed in the comic. Now, the people killed in the comic, they are never killed the same way on the TV show. I know we had Amy and Jim, those were, and Shane was reversed, kind of similar, but there's huge differences with almost every single one. Herschel, it's the same death for a character, but different. I don't want to go into every one, but they're not killed the same way on the show as they were in the comic. Now, with the death coming up, you have Glenn killed in the comic by Negan. On TV, it would seem really predictable, and I don't think that's the problem. I would be okay with them killing Glenn. Not okay like that. I would be okay as in, I don't find it predictable and stupid. I think just watching that shocking moment is enough. We don't need it to be like, oh, they fooled us. I think just showing us that scene is enough, because we have to understand, there's an absolute death coming. Especially TV fans, that haven't, dug in too deep on comic material. They're going to take a character we love. They're going to take all the characters that are there. So a good 7 or 8 characters that we love. They're going to line them up. Maybe a couple we just like. They're going to then pick one, or Negan's going to pick one, and he will bash his head in and kill him. This is happening. This is coming. This is an absolute death that is coming. Are we ready for that? And who do we think it's going to be? I do believe that they're setting up Carol in an interesting light, and I still think there's an argument for would they kill a woman like that, I think that's borderline crossing the line, but I think it's doable. A lot of people say Maggie might be the one, but I believe they're already invested in her story for season 7 and 8. I think they have set up way too much, and it's different setup. I had a discussion with someone who said Noah was set up. Well, that was one instance where he sat down and was like, "Oh, I wanna learn how to build shit." That's not in-depth setup in my opinion. They've been setting up Maggie since season 5 alone at Alexandria. So I would have to say I am more comfortable with predicting either Carol taking it, Glenn taking it, just like he did in the comic. Morgan's still on my mind. There's something coming with Morgan. I cannot put my finger on it. He's building the jail. He plays a role. So if it's not here, I think he'll have a very interesting role in season 8. But I can't see it being outside of the Atlanta 5. I can't see it being Michonne. I don't believe they would kill a character off like that because, again, they're setting her story up. They're building her story. I don't think they would utilize... Put it this way. What I'm talking about as far as building story is, they're building Michonne's story to be Rick's right hand. And fans of the comic know that plays out a certain way. There's stuff that happens there. They're building that story. They've been building that story since seasons ago. Now you look at Maggie. They're building a story around Maggie to lead. She's been training. She's been in positions to lead. Especially, we're talking specifically leading a community, not just to lead on a mission or anything. With Daryl, they're building something there, some kind of interaction with Dwight. There's a connection there. And I could be totally wrong. Any one of them could die. But I just see them building something in the story. With Carol, for example, there's a change. There's a conflict in the character. There's character development. But I don't see them building her story to go a certain direction. Not yet. And not every character needs building all the time. Characters can be lost in conflict and have character development going on, and that is totally fine. But story-wise, I also see Morgan. He's kind of in that same boat where I think they are building his story. They absolutely have been building his story to play a major role 2 seasons from now. I guarantee it, because we're already seeing seeds of that being planted. But the thing with Morgan, we don't need him alive to continue that storyline or to get the end result of that storyline. We can have him plant the seeds, and then our group can be reminded of it, especially Rick, later on down the line when it comes time to actually put someone inside that jail cell, that Morgan built. And that cell will always be a constant reminder of Morgan and his philosophies. So we don't need Morgan alive for that. Again, Carol's someone that they're doing some new character development with, but they're not building her story-wise to go a certain direction. Glenn is a person where I would have to say, unfortunately, he is in that middle too. Same with Morgan. Glenn is a person where they are building his story, but more as a father and a leader, which can be wiped out at any time. Seeing his leader aspects and hearing certain comments, I'm likely to believe that Glenn will live on past this. So it's really getting difficult to pinpoint the one they're going to pick. I would have to say right now, my top 3 picks at this moment are Carol, Glenn, and Morgan. Those are my 3 picks. And we're not talking who do I want to be killed. If it was just on straight once, man, I love Steven. I love Glenn's character. And I love him even more in Season 6. There's something about him in Season 6. He just looks more badass than ever. He looks cooler than ever. But I would want them to bring the comic for the first time in a major way, in a major death. Bring the comic to life on screen. If I was picking who I want, it would be Glenn. Sorry. But who I'm comfortable with killing because of the story and what's set up, Carol, Morgan, Glenn. I think I'm comfortable with those three. That's my top 3 pick for the absolute death. You tell me in the comment box, are you ready for this absolute death? It's coming. And there's no stopping it. Also, who are your picks? If you got the same picks as me, I don't mind. Put your thoughts and opinions down in the comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Subscribe now.